It's a wonder how agents keep track of everybody they must please. In this episode, we're going to discuss the story behind compensation and governance. Buying and selling real estate has become more challenging than ever in recent years. Sellers are stuck, buyers face historic affordability issues, and now how you work with real estate agents is changing. Join me on this eye opening journey where I'll explain everything you need to know about working with real estate agents and the changes ahead in this series. It's all about full transparency, ensuring you feel informed and confident every step of the way. I'm Gina Fye, a real estate broker licensed in North and South Carolina. In this episode, we are going to talk about the story behind buyer agent compensation and agent governance. It's clear that listing agents to compensate seller subagents, they owe a fiduciary duty to the seller. Well, let's explore how buyer agent compensation began and continued for over 30 years. Remember, a seller subagent's fiduciary duty is to the seller. In the past, everybody worked for the seller. For decades, listing brokers would share their commissions with seller subagents. After the 1983 FTC white paper and many lawsuits, listing brokers sought to move away from the subagency model to avoid liability for cooperating brokers' actions. The shift in agency law started in 1988, brought significant changes to the real estate representation, ensuring buyers had dedicated agents working for their interest and moving the industry away from seller subagency. Originally, the listing agent did not compensate the buyer agents, only seller subagents. After requests made by brokers and MLSs in 1993, the practice of listing agents compensating buyer agents was allowed and is legal. Let's explore some reasons why the practice continues to this day. Mortgage lending laws and practices influence the decision to maintain the convention of sellers paying buyer agents commissions. By continuing to compensate the buyer agent, listing agents and sellers ensure smoother transactions and better alignment with lending practices, contributing to a more stable and accessible real estate market. As first-time home buyers and low-income earners, including professionals like teachers and police officers, they have continually struggled to make the required down payment, pay lending fees, cover their closing costs, and everything else. While both consumers and the government wanted buyers to have a choice of agency representation, the government did not adjust lending laws to assist buyers in financing their own representation once agency laws started changing in 1988. Mortgage broker fees, closing costs, and appraisals are directly linked to the mortgage loan production and can be rolled into your loan. The government views real estate commissions as a service provided, not directly linked to the loan production, and therefore cannot be rolled into your loan. Additionally, they believe there is no way for the lender to recover the value of the service in the event of a mortgage default. To this day, the government has not changed any laws regarding this. In fact, when a veteran obtains a VA loan, they are not allowed to pay a buyer's agent fee. In addition to some other fees associated with the purchase of the home, the seller must cover certain costs for the veteran. Now, on May 22nd, 2024, the VA temporarily lifted the ban on real estate representation fees that goes into effect August 10th. Most loans are sold to Fannie and Freddie, and neither has provisions for commissions to be financed. Have you ever heard of the balloon story? A teacher once brought balloons to school, told her students to blow them up and write their names on one. After the children tossed their balloons into the hall, the teacher moved through the hall mixing them all up. The kids were given 5 minutes to find the balloon with their name on it, but though they searched frantically, no one found their balloon. Then the teacher told them to take the balloon closest to them and give it to the person whose name was on it. In less than 2 minutes, everyone was holding their own balloon. The teacher said to the children, "These balloons are like happiness. We won't find it when we're only searching for our own, but if we care about somebody else's happiness, it will ultimately help us find our own." The balloon story reminds me of cooperation among agents. Imagine the house as the balloon with the listing agent's name on it. When the listing agent lists the house in the MLS, it's like mixing all the balloons up in the hall. Buyer agents and buyers then pick the perfect balloon. If the listing agents didn't cooperate and share their listings, it would take much longer to find the right buyer, similar to finding your own balloon. This cooperation ensures homes are sold faster, benefiting both sellers and buyers, much like how the children quickly found their balloons by helping each other. The mandatory cooperation and compensation rule was more effective at reaching more people than placing a billboard or magazine ad, as only those who drove by the billboard or get the magazine will see the ad. This is one of the reasons the sharing of compensation has always been considered a marketing fee. For many years, sellers have seen the value the listing agent firm offers, portion of their compensation to the buyer firm, as this opened up their pool of buyers, which often included FHA, VA loan borrowers. Listing agents and seller liability concerns played a significant role in the decision to maintain the practice of listing agents paying buyer agents commissions after the 1988 changes in agency laws. By providing clear representation for buyers, reducing conflict of interest, and ensuring thorough due diligence, this practice helps protect listing agents and sellers from potential legal disputes and liability issues, contributing to a smoother and more secure real estate transaction. For full transparency, some ask, why would you pay someone to negotiate against you? In real estate, it might seem counterintuitive that the seller pay the buyer agent, especially when that agent is negotiating on behalf of the buyer. However, by paying the buyer agent, the seller ensures that the buyer has professional representation, which can lead to a smoother transaction. Buyer agents handle many details and paperwork, reducing the burden on both the seller and the seller's agent. Professional representation for the buyer often means that the buyer is more informed and confident, potentially leading to a quicker sale and an even higher sales price. This can offset the commission cost. Sellers benefit from the same arrangement when they become buyers, creating a reciprocal and balanced real estate market. This practice simplifies financial planning, encourages market participation, and ensures that all parties receive professional guidance without additional out-of-pocket cost. Ultimately, it contributes to a healthier and more fluid real estate market. Here's a sample breakdown from the closing disclosure of a recent closing I had to help visualize expenses each party pays for. The seller usually uses equity in their home to cover closing costs. The buyer needs to have cash on hand to cover the non-refundable due diligence fee, earnest money deposit, inspections, down payment, and closing costs. The red numbers are adjustments should each side pay for their own representation. The buyers are bringing significantly more money. With the new changes coming by August 17th, the chances of the government changing rules to allow buyer agent compensation to be rolled into a loan are slim to none. While I can't predict exactly how the new changes will affect buyers and sellers or the industry, I do have some concerns. Should the DOJ intervene and sellers are not allowed to offer any compensation, or if market trends shift to where sellers do not offer buyer agent compensation, it could hinder buyers' financial accessibility, particularly harming first-time home buyers and low-income individuals. I believe we may see history repeat itself with more lawsuits, which could become more expensive for both buyers and sellers in the long run. Let's take a look at how agents are governed and allowed to operate their business. Let's start with the IRS. Real estate agents are not employees, but independent contractors. State law requires a broker in charge to manage a real estate agent or broker. Due to the conflict between independent contractor status and state law required supervision, the IRS has special provision for us. The IRS restricts how we charge to maintain our independent contractor status. According to the IRS Section 3508, a substantial portion of real estate agents' commission should be based on sales or output, not hourly pay. This is one of the reasons you rarely see real estate agents charging by the hour. As an agent, you have to follow many rules and regulations set by local, state, and federal legislation. These rules govern how you conduct your business, what you can say, cannot say, and what you must do and cannot do. Additionally, you may need to pay for a business license, which grants you the right to work in that city, county, and state. For example, I have to pay the city of Rock Hill for a business license, allowing me the privilege of selling a home there, and the fee is based on my total earnings. Common law is not the same as legislative laws. Common laws are established based on legal precedents set by the courts. Often joke that every time there's a new lawsuit, a new paragraph is added to the offer to purchase contract. When I started practicing real estate in North Carolina 20 years ago, we had 5-page offer to purchase, including the signature page. We are also governed by the Real Estate Commission, which protects the public in real estate transactions. The Commission enforces rules created by legislation and also has the authority to create additional rules. State law dictates that all brokers must be supervised by a broker in charge. Therefore, we are supervised by our firm's broker in charge and must also follow our firm policies, which defines how we are allowed to conduct business. Last but not least, if you are a realtor member, you must adhere to their code of ethics and the rules of any MLSs you belong to. As we conclude part 2 of the Inside Real Estate No Secrets, Just Truth series, you can see how government rules and regulations play a huge role in how we conduct business and why listing agents and sellers compensated buyer agents for many years. Thanks for joining me on this journey. I hope you feel more informed and confident about working with real estate agents. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and tap the notification bell so you never miss an update. There's so much more to uncover about the real estate world, and I can't wait to share it with you. I'm Gina Fa, a real estate broker licensed in North and South Carolina. See you in the next video.